Hi there, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me. Well, we're having another one of our little bite-sized reviews, kit reviews today, and we're continuing our delve down memory lane to bygone days of Matchbox kits, and we're trying to sort of reacquaint ourselves with some of these old and very memorable kits that many of us have probably grown up with. Today we're on the Jagdpanther. So this is, again, it's the purple range of armour, and we have the Jagdpanther, which is the Panther-based tank destroyer. Again, this particular one I've got here is actually a later boxing. I think it's actually got the, it's got the Woolworths label on it, 90p, very expensive, because obviously that tells you it's probably in the mid-late 70s, not the early 70s. In fact, it's actually 83, so there you go, that explains everything. 1983. And it's a later boxing. It has no window on the back, so typically we have this situation where Matchbox seem to prefer to show the unpainted kit as it comes with its decals on the reverse. On the top they show it actually painted up in its full battle camouflage. And of course on the other side they, as usual, advertise everything that they can. So they've got a Chaffee, a Vespi, Puma, which we've already seen I think in another video, and the American half track, which is something we might see again in the not too distant future. So before I start though, let me just confess, I've made a couple of these, and we've got one right here in the background. And again, I sort of do this halfway house thing. I don't try to make them an ultimate scale model. I want the Matchbox-ness of them to be apparent. So, put some lights on to see a little bit better. So I like them to have that sort of Matchbox feel to them. So what I do is I paint some of the model, but not all of it. In fact, most of this is actually unpainted and as it comes. So it gives you an idea of the whole sort of scene in the diorama. Again, you've got this famous bent street lamp here, which they seem to use a few times, and it's bursting through this wall very aggressively in the middle of a street, some sort of urban fighting going on. But it's a nice little model, and it's got a movable gun moves from side to side, and you know, it's fairly scale-like. And if you want to do a professional paint job of it, you can do that and make it look a lot nicer than mine, in fairness. But I just like to almost remind people that it's not a super duper scale model. It really is, it's a Matchbox, and I want people to remember that it's what it is, and that's why I've done it the way I've done it, really. And you'll see that theme with a few of the others I've done as well. Anyway, enough of me. Let's see what this offering is all about. So it's the 83 later boxing. Pretty sure that this model came out originally about 76, but the versions I have in my stash are all 83 or thereabouts, or 86. Let's see what's in the box. I think we've got a pretty good idea. Some meaty tracks on this one. They look a bit more substantial, I've got to say. Alright, so very predictable contents, of course. Yep, here we go. We'll start with the decals, that we always seem to do, because they always drop out, don't they, straight in front of us. So here we go. Two options of decals, and they are the 18th SS Panzer Division or the 12th SS Panzer Division. So, and they look in great shape, in fairness. I'm sure they'll work absolutely fine. Still got the tissue to protect it. Excellent. What more could you want, really? So, and this is how you can tell it's a later edition as well, because it isn't purple. Normally these instructions come in the purple. This one isn't. But on the back, same form really, showing you the decal application. Then on the inside you've got a bit more info about how to paint it, showing the camo scheme and what paints are required, showing the Humbrol enamel range. And then main instructions themselves. By the way, those lights up to the back light and stuff. That's better. So on the main instructions, there we go. You build up the sort of hull. It's not a bathtub style. It's a floor and sides and rear. but that builds no problem at all. I can tell you that it all goes together beautifully. Then you build your drive wheels, Then you put your rubber band tracks together, and then you build the gun and mantlet, which is a very imposing looking thing on this vehicle. These were a mighty weapon, I tell you. Their only weakness, of course, was that they didn't have a turning turret, so they could get themselves caught from the sides and the rear quite easily, and if they're in a tight spot to manoeuvre, they could get caught out and get shot because they couldn't turn quick enough. But that's true of all tank destroyers, of course, really, that don't have a turret, that is. Put all your wheels on, there's plenty to go out there, keep you busy for an afternoon. And then finally you bring the top, which is moulded pretty much, you know, moulded in one. But you do have your machine gun and your main gun coming in there, the hatch goes on. There's stowage tubes up the side, some jerry cans, exhausts. And then finally your street scene with the bashed in wall, two sides of it, and all the bricks and the tank tracks that are visible underneath. Okay, so let's have a look at what we've got. We've got some rubber band tank tracks, which actually look quite meaty and quite, yeah, a bit more substantial than the ones we've seen on things like the Sherman. So those are quite nice. And then we have our diorama, which is basically tank tracks across a muddy, what looks like a muddy yard, and then there'll be a wall, of course, which gets demolished, and you've got this lovely detail. They've done this really well again, haven't they? You know, you've got all this brickwork, and if you make a bit more effort than I did, because I didn't paint mine individually, I gave it a quick blow over with an airbrush, to be honest. But if you put a bit more time in, make a bit of effort, you can really make this look quite nice. And yeah, it wouldn't take that much time really. But it gives a three-dimensional look to the whole sort of diorama, doesn't it? You know. Then we've got all the mini wheels, and there is quite a few of them, obviously. Yeah, very similar, outer and inners. Drive sprockets there, drive wheels, and then you've got your idlers at the back, idlers here, jerry cans here. Okay, so that's that one. Then we've got the dark grey sprue. This has got the substantial parts of the tank actually on it. Here we go. So we've got the top of the hull with all of your vents and fans and cooling ducts, grills, etc. all moulded in. It's actually quite sharply moulded. It's really nice, this, in fairness. Hope that's picking up on the camera. It's very nicely detailed. Better than on things like the Sherman that we saw earlier. That's quite a soft moulding, but this is much sharper. Really clean looking. Even on this side you can see it's got plenty of depth and sort of a three-dimensional quality to the detailing. And just below that you've got your gun here, and the other side we can see the gun mantlet here, and then we've got your pieces of wall and another piece of wall there. And then on the other side of the top of the sprue you've got the side pieces, and yeah, you've got some big lugs here, ejector pin lugs. They need to be chopped right off before you can get that in. And then you've got the floor here with all the spigots for the wheels. And then you have exhausts here. And then finally you've got the very back, which includes stowage boxes. See it? And where your exhausts go either side, here and here. So very like a Panther, of course, because that's what it's based on. So there we have it. It's another really nice kit. You know, it's the Panther is very similar in many ways for obvious reasons, apart from the top, and it just works. You know, it's a nice little kit, and I say, I was deliberately idle when I did mine, and I didn't really make the effort I probably should have done. But I wanted it to still look like a Matchbox kit and not look like, you know, one of my more professional standard kits, if you like. and it retains that character. And you know, whenever anybody glances at that, they all think, oh yeah, it's a Matchbox, isn't it? You know, because it has got that sort of characterisation, and it's got the two colours, which is very, very familiar to people as a concept, of course. Anyway, hope you like the review. I'd give that sort of an 8, 9 out of 10 for what it is, you know, and when it came out. It's a nice little Jagdpanther. It goes nicely with the other items, part of the range. So yeah, thumbs up from me. If you enjoyed the vid, please give us a thumbs up, give us a like, and share and subscribe if you haven't already. And please ding the notification bell, because there'll be more videos coming up very soon. And in the meantime, please stay tuned. Still watch out for some more that you may find interesting. Hope you enjoyed it all, and in the meantime, thanks a lot and bye for now. Take care.